Stop. Pause for a moment. Whatever you were doing just now, let it wait. This is not something meant to be consumed in passing. This is not a message to skim while your mind is somewhere else. This moment matters now. Timing matters. Your awareness in this very second matters more than you understand. I am not speaking to a crowd. I am not addressing everyone at once. I am speaking directly to you, not from a distance, not with noise, but close enough for your heart to hear. You felt it when you began reading. Something inside you slowed down. Something in you recognized that this was different. That pause was not random. This moment is not casual. And these words are not optional. They are gentle, but they are urgent. They are calm, but they carry weight. I need you fully present with me right now. You live surrounded by noise, messages competing for your attention, voices pulling you in every direction. You are used to listening without truly hearing. But this is not like that. This is not another voice asking for a small piece of you. This is my voice asking you to stop and be still, because something important is near, and your attention right now is part of how you are protected. I know the urge to skim. I know the impulse to move on and tell yourself you will focus later. That pull is not coming from me. When something truly matters, resistance always tries to rush past it. So slow down on purpose. Take a breath. Stay here with me. Heaven does not shout the way the world does. Heaven interrupts quietly, firmly, with love. This is a divine interruption. I did not step into your moment to confuse you. I did not come to frighten you. I came to steady you. Something important is coming. And before it arrives, I want you grounded, not distracted, prepared, not hurried, aware, not drifting. Many of the most important things in life arrive softly. They do not announce themselves with noise. They come quietly, and those who are distracted miss them. I do not want you to miss what is near. This is not about fear. It is about focus. It is about discernment. It is about trusting the gentle nudge that told you to stop instead of moving on. You are not reading these words by accident. You are here because your attention was called now, not later. I am not distant as I speak. I am close. I am calm. I am steady. Authority does not come from loudness. Care does not come from weakness. They exist together. I can ask you to stop because I love you. I can speak with weight because I am watching over you. When I say something matters, it is because I see the full picture. While you can only see a part, you do not need to understand everything yet. Understanding will come later. What matters first is listening. Let your heart quiet enough to hear what is being said beneath the words. There is safety in attentiveness. There is peace in obedience. There is protection in trust. I know your life is full. I know your days move quickly. I know stopping feels inconvenient, but there are moments when stopping is the most important thing you can do. There are times when moving less protects you more. This is one of those times. Not because danger is shouting, but because wisdom is whispering. I am not asking you to panic. I am not asking you to assume the worst. I am asking you to listen carefully. I do not waste your attention. I do not interrupt without purpose. I do not speak unless there is something you need to hear. You may feel curiosity. You may feel seriousness. You may feel calm mixed with uncertainty. That is normal when something meaningful approaches. Stay here. Let my presence steady you. Let my voice rise above the others for these moments. I am not speaking because you did something wrong. I am speaking because you matter. This pause is not pressure. It is protection. The world teaches you to ignore inner warnings, to rush past pauses, to fill silence with movement. I teach you the opposite. Stillness can be strength. Listening can be shelter. Awareness is not fear. Awareness is peace that is awake. Fear makes you run without direction. Awareness helps you remain steady where you are. I am not confusing you. I am aligning you. I am present. I am watching. I am in control. You may not see what is coming yet, and you do not need to. You only need to trust the one who does. I speak now so your heart is settled before movement arrives. I speak now so you are not unanchored later. Stay with me here. Let these words land. Slow your breath. Quiet your heart. You are not in trouble. You are not alone. You are being cared for. Something important is coming. And this moment of listening is part of how you are being protected. I need you to understand something clearly. When I warn you, it is never to frighten you. My warnings are acts of love. They are meant to protect, not to disturb your peace. I do not speak to create panic. I speak to create awareness, calm, steady awareness. Fear shouts. Fear rushes. Fear pushes your mind forward into imagined disasters. But love prepares. Love steadies. Love grounds you before anything begins. What you are sensing right now is not fear. It is preparation. I am speaking now because I do not wait until things break to reach you. I do not wait until chaos arrives to get your attention. I speak before storms, not after. This is how heaven works. Heaven prepares hearts long before events unfold. So when things change, you are not shaken. You are not confused. You are not overwhelmed. The world reacts at the last moment. Alarms sound after damage is done. Warnings are ignored until it is too late. But I am not bound by time the way you are. I see the full path. You see only the step you are standing on. Because I see what is ahead, I speak now. I need you ready, not afraid. Fear would tell you to imagine the worst. Fear would tighten your chest. Fear would drain your strength before anything even happens. That is not what I bring. What I bring is calm awareness. Clarity that steadies instead of shaking you. Preparation that strengthens rather than exhausts you. Divine awareness never steals your peace. It anchors it. You may wonder why I do not explain everything right now. Why I do not give names, dates, or details. Why I do not tell you exactly what is coming. The reason is simple. I do not want your understanding to run ahead of your trust. Some protection comes through obedience, not explanation. Some things are understood only after they pass. Trust must come first. I am not asking you to solve anything. I am not asking you to figure it all out. I am asking you to listen. There is a difference between panic and preparation. Panic comes from feeling out of control. Preparation comes from trusting the one who is in control. Panic drains you before the moment arrives. Preparation gives you strength before you need it. That is why I speak with calm urgency, not alarm. I am not pulling you into anxiety. I am drawing you into alignment. When I tell you something is coming, it is not to make you anxious about tomorrow. It is to shape how you move today. Some responses are quiet. Some protection comes not from action, but from pause. Some wisdom looks like staying instead of going. Some safety comes from waiting instead of rushing. These things only make sense when your heart is prepared ahead of time. Do not mistake stillness for inactivity. Stillness can be obedience. I am not trying to control you. I am covering you. Heaven has always prepared hearts before moments arrived. I prepared Noah before the rain. I prepared Joseph before the famine. I prepared the disciples before the storm. Preparation did not remove difficulty, but it removed panic. It grounded them in trust when others were shaken. I am preparing you in the same way. What I am asking does not require fear. It requires attention. Fear narrows your vision. Attention widens it. Fear isolates you. Attention connects you to me. Fear drains your body. Attention steadies your breath. Everything about fear pulls you away from me. Everything about divine awareness draws you closer. You do not need to imagine threats to be wise. You do not need to cancel your peace to be prepared. You only need to listen carefully and trust that when I warn you, it is because I care. I need you ready, not afraid. Ready means calm. Ready means aware. Ready means listening instead of rushing. Ready means not brushing off the nudge you feel inside. Ready means respecting the moment without dramatizing it. Ready means believing that I would not interrupt your life without reason. Sometimes protection looks ordinary. It looks like staying home. It looks like resting. It looks like delaying a plan. It looks like choosing stillness when everything in you wants to move. These choices only make sense when you trust that I see what you cannot. I am not asking you to explain this to others. I am not asking you to defend it. Some warnings are meant to be followed quietly. This one is between you and me. If you feel suspense, do not turn it into fear. Let it become attentiveness. Let it sharpen your awareness without tightening your heart. I am not asking you to look over your shoulder. I am asking you to look to me. When you look to me, your heart remains steady even when circumstances change. Notice this, even with urgency, there is calm beneath these words. That is intentional. Urgency from heaven does not rush the soul. Steadies it. It says listen without saying run. I speak before storms, not after. One day you will look back and understand why this pause mattered, why listening mattered, why staying mattered. Understanding will come. For now, trust is enough. I need you ready, not afraid. Stay grounded. Stay attentive. Stay calm. You are not in danger. You are being cared for. You are being prepared quietly, gently, intentionally. Everything I do in advance is because I love you too much to leave you unprepared. There is something I want you to recognize now. You often think that my voice is rare. You believe guidance only comes in dramatic moments, through loud signs, sudden events, or unmistakable miracles. But the truth is quieter than that. I have been speaking to you for years, guiding you long before you learned how to recognize it. You have heard my voice more than you realize. Think back to moments when something inside you suddenly slowed you down. A hesitation you could not explain. A gentle inner pull telling you to wait, to pause, to reconsider. At the time, you may have dismissed it as doubt. You may have called it coincidence or overthinking. But that was not uncertainty. That was wisdom. That was me speaking in a way your heart could receive without being overwhelmed. You did not see the danger ahead. I did. You did not understand the reason. I did. And when you listened, even without knowing why, you were protected. There were times when everything around you said, go. The opportunity looked right. The timing felt urgent. Other people encouraged you to move fast. Yet something inside you whispered, wait. That whisper was not fear. Fear pressures. Fear pushes. That whisper was calm, carried no panic. It simply asked you to slow down. That was me. You may have felt frustrated in those moments. You may have wondered why things were not moving the way you wanted. But later, when you looked back, you saw that waiting spared you pain, loss, or regret. That was not chance. That was guidance. Remember times when plans fell apart at the last moment. You felt disappointed, annoyed, confused. You thought it was bad timing. You thought it was inconvenience. But I was redirecting you. I was quietly removing you from paths that would have wounded your heart more deeply than you knew. Protection often looks like disruption, until you see what it prevented. There were also moments when you felt strongly led to do something small. Nothing dramatic, nothing logical. To stay home instead of going out. To leave early. To take a different route. To say no when you usually say yes. You did not know why. You only knew it felt right. That feeling was my presence. Those were moments where the unseen mattered more than the visible. Sometimes the nudge was about people. You felt uneasy around someone who appeared kind or convincing. You ignored it at first because nothing seemed wrong. Later, you realized that connection would have damaged your peace, your identity, or your direction. Other times, you felt drawn to someone without explanation, and that relationship became important for your growth. I was guiding you through relationships, even when you believed you were choosing alone. Your heart was responding to my voice, long before your mind could name it. There were seasons when your life slowed down. Doors stayed closed. Progress felt delayed. You wondered why nothing was moving forward. Those pauses were not punishment. They were preparation. I was strengthening your character, teaching patience, protecting you from stepping into things before you were ready to carry them. Delay is often where growth happens quietly, and I was with you in every delayed season. You have also experienced moments of sudden clarity, times when, despite confusion around you, your heart felt settled about a decision. You thought it was intuition, instinct, inner knowing, but that clarity came through peace. When a decision settles your heart without pressure, that is my voice. Confusion does not come from me. Pressure does not come from me. Calm certainty, that is how I guide. Notice something important. Every major turning point in your life was preceded by quiet guidance. Before relationships ended, before paths changed, before losses or breakthroughs reshaped your life, first there was a pause, a thought that lingered, a sense you could not explain. You may not have recognized it at the time, but it was not random. Even when you did not listen, I did not leave you. When you rushed ahead anyway, I stayed close. I softened the impact. I helped you recover. I redeemed what you could not undo. Guidance is not about perfection. It is about relationship. I speak, you learn, and together we move forward even through mistakes. Think of the times you later said, I knew I shouldn't have done that, or something told me to wait. That knowing was not imagined. That voice came from somewhere real. As you grow more attentive, that voice becomes easier to recognize. You learn the difference between anxious thoughts and calm guidance. There were also moments when you felt peace about a decision, even when others questioned it. You could not explain your certainty. It was not logical. That peace was from me. I often guide through peace rather than pressure. Pressure demands. Peace invites. Pressure agitates. Peace steadies. When something is right, settles your heart, instead of disturbing it. I want you to see this pattern clearly now. You are not being warned suddenly or randomly. This is how I have always worked in your life. Gentle nudges, quiet preparation, timely pauses. You have been responding to my voice for years, sometimes knowingly, sometimes without realizing it. So when I say, listen carefully now, it is not because this moment is unfamiliar. It is because you already know how my voice feels. That calm awareness, that sense of importance without fear, that pause that asks you not to rush. This moment carries the same tone, the same presence, the same steady guidance. I am simply asking you to recognize it more clearly this time. You are not being asked to do something new. You are being asked to do what you have already done many times before. Listen, pause, trust, remain. I guided you then. I am guiding you now, and I will continue to guide you, one gentle moment at a time. I want you to look at your life from a wider view now. There were moments you once called delays, moments you thought were setbacks, times you believed something was wrong because things were not moving. But those moments were not empty. They were intentional. You live in a world that treats speed as success, that measures progress by motion, that believes if nothing is happening, something must be failing. That is not how I work. Some of the most important work I do happens when nothing seems to be happening. There were seasons when doors stayed closed in front of you. Opportunities you wanted did not come. Answers were slow. Movement felt stalled. You questioned yourself. You questioned timing. Sometimes you even questioned me. But those seasons were not neglect. They were protection. I was keeping you from entering rooms where your heart would have been damaged. I was holding you back from responsibilities you were not yet ready to carry. Delay was not denial. Delay was preparation. While you waited, I was strengthening you quietly. I was shaping your patience. I was deepening your discernment. I was building endurance into your spirit. If I had allowed certain things too early, they would have crushed you instead of blessing you. You could not see what I was preventing, but I could. Think about times when plans suddenly changed. Last-minute cancellations, unexpected obstacles, routes that were blocked without explanation. You felt irritated, disappointed, sometimes even angry. You thought your time was being wasted, but those interruptions were not random. I was removing you from paths where loss, conflict, or harm waited quietly ahead. Protection often wears the disguise of inconvenience. You do not always see what did not happen. You do not always know what never reached you, because I redirected you first. That does not make those moments less real. It makes them more loving. There were times you felt delayed and believed you were falling behind others. You watched people move ahead. You compared progress. You wondered why your life felt paused. But your path was never meant to mirror theirs. I was guarding your timing. I was aligning circumstances, people, and growth, so that when movement did come, it would not destroy your peace. Some blessings become burdens when they arrive before readiness. I protected you from that. There were also moments when I removed things from your life that you wanted to keep, relationships that faded, opportunities that slipped away, paths that closed suddenly. At the time, you felt loss, but I was creating space. Some things cannot enter your life until other things leave. I was not taking from you to punish you. I was clearing room to protect you. Think about the connections that ended quietly. No drama, no explanation. Later, you understood why. Those endings were not rejection. They were rescue. I was protecting your identity, your peace, your direction. There were also times when you felt a strong urge to leave a situation early, to exit a conversation, to step away from a place, to change plans without a clear reason. You followed that nudge, even though you could not explain it. And later you discovered something went wrong after you left. That was not coincidence. That was timing. I guide not only through words, but through restraint. Sometimes safety comes from leaving before damage arrives. Sometimes wisdom is quiet obedience. You may remember moments when you felt restless without knowing why. A sense that something was no longer right, that staying would cost more than leaving. That restlessness was not confusion. It was alignment shifting. I was moving you before discomfort turned into harm. Even when you resisted those nudges, even when you stayed longer than you should have, I remained with you. I softened consequences. I strengthened you through recovery. I do not abandon you when you learn slowly. Every delay, every redirection, every pause was shaping you. You were being taught discernment. You were being trained to recognize my voice without needing explanations. You were learning to trust timing instead of force. You were learning that not every closed door is loss. Not every pause is failure. Not every delay is punishment. Some are mercy. Some are love in disguise. This is why I can ask you to pause now. You have lived the evidence. You have been spared more than you know, protected in ways you only understood later. I am not suddenly warning you. I am continuing the same care that has always guided you. When things slowed before, it was not because I forgot you. It was because I was preparing you. And now, once again, I am asking you to trust stillness, trust delay, trust pause, because sometimes what feels like waiting is actually being shielded. Something is happening right now. It is not loud. It is not chaotic. It is not breaking in with force or noise. It is quiet, steady, deliberate. You may feel it, not as fear, but as awareness, a subtle sense that something is changing. Even though nothing around you looks different, that feeling is real. It is not anxiety. It is not imagination. It is transition. Transition does not announce itself the way chaos does. Chaos shakes everything at once. Transition moves beneath the surface. It rearranges foundations before anything visible shifts. Right now, I am working in ways you cannot yet see. I am adjusting timing. I am aligning paths. I am closing some doors gently and guarding others carefully. None of this requires panic. It requires attentiveness. You live in a world that confuses movement with progress and noise with importance. When people sense change, they rush. They assume they must act quickly or be left behind. But hear me clearly. Movement around you does not mean movement is required from you. There are moments when stillness is the most obedient response. There are times when remaining is wisdom. Right now is one of those times. Tomorrow is being shaped by how you listen today, not by how fast you move, not by how much you do, but by how grounded you remain. Obedience today creates clarity tomorrow. Trust now prepares peace later. I am connecting these moments carefully. What comes next is tied to how steady your heart remains right now. I know when you sense change, your mind wants to fill the space with guesses. You want explanations. You want timelines. You want certainty. But explanation is not what steadies the heart. Presence does. Staying with me matters more than understanding everything. This shift you are sensing is not danger approaching. It is alignment unfolding. Alignment requires calm, not reaction. If you rush, you will miss subtle guidance. If you panic, you will move when you are meant to remain. If you assume every shift demands action, you may override protection that comes through pause. I am not calling you into isolation. I am positioning you. I am not removing you from life. I am placing you within it. With awareness, this moment asks you to observe, not intervene, to listen, not rush, to trust that not every important moment requires your movement. You may notice the atmosphere around you feels slightly different. Conversations may feel heavier or quieter. Plans may feel less solid. People may seem unsettled. Without knowing why, these are signs of transition, not threats. When foundations adjust, the surface feels unstable for a moment. That does not mean collapse. It means reordering. Remain calm within this shift. Calm does not mean passive. Calm means alert without tension. Calm means aware without fear. Calm means trusting me more than the noise around you. This is why I am speaking now. Not because something is going wrong, but because something is being realigned. And I want you steady while it happens. Obedience does not always look like action. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like staying put. When everything suggests movement, the world glorifies motion. I value alignment. There are times when I ask people to move quickly. This is not one of those times. This is a moment for stillness that pays attention. Stillness does not mean sleep. It means awareness without rushing, listening without reacting, observing without interfering. I am doing work on your behalf right now. That does not require your effort. It requires your cooperation. Cooperation looks like staying calm, guarding your thoughts, refusing unnecessary fear. It looks like not talking yourself out of the nudge to pause. It looks like trusting that delay can be protection. You may feel tempted to fill this moment with activity, to stay busy, to distract yourself from the discomfort of not knowing. Resist that urge. Silence is not emptiness. When I am in it, silence is space for alignment. Space is where guidance becomes clear. I am not asking you to search for signs everywhere. Awareness does not mean hypervigilance. It means quiet attention. When awareness turns into fear, it loses its purpose. I will not lead you through fear. I lead through peace that is awake. Movement around you does not mean movement is required from you. People may make decisions you do not understand. Schedules may shift. None of that requires immediate response from you. Wait for my direction. When movement is needed, you will know. It will come with clarity, not confusion. For now, your role is to remain aligned. Stay with me for a little longer. I want your heart settled before this moment ends. You are not carrying this alone. If the battle feels heavy right now, if your strength feels thinner than usual, know this clearly. I am fighting for you. You do not need to see the battlefield to be protected on it. You do not need to understand every movement to be covered within it. Some battles are not won by effort. They are won by trust. And trust is not passive. Trust is choosing to rest. While I work, you have been taught that strength means pushing harder. But there are moments when strength means leaning into refuge. I am your hiding place. When things around you feel uncertain, you are not exposed. You are sheltered. I am not asking you to figure everything out. I am not asking you to brace yourself for impact. I am asking you to stay close. Closeness is protection. When you remain near, your heart stays steady. Even when circumstances shift, you are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing what is meant for you. Nothing assigned to you can pass you by. while you remain aligned with me. I know you sometimes worry that if you do not act quickly, you will lose something important. But what is truly yours does not require panic to reach. I guard what I give. If something requires fear to keep it, it was never meant to own your peace. I am not only watching over your future, I am guarding your present. Right now, your breath, your thoughts, your rest. You are safe in this moment. Even if your mind feels busy, your spirit is covered. I know there are questions you wish you had answers to. I know there are outcomes you want clarity on, but clarity is not always the first gift. Sometimes peace comes first, and peace is what I am giving you now. Do not rush away from it. Let this stillness do its work. You do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to explain your calm. Some battles are won by staying hidden in me. I go before you. I stand beside you. I remain behind you. You are surrounded. Even when you cannot see it, I am arranging things in your favor. Not always the way you expect, but always with your good in mind. I do not abandon those who listen when I speak. I do not leave those who pause when I ask them to pause. I honor trust. If something changes after this moment, you will recognize it. Your heart will remember this pause. You will know that you were prepared, not shaken, not rushed, not afraid, prepared. Let this truth settle deeply. You are not in danger. You are in care. You are not being threatened. You are being guided. You are not exposed. You are hidden. I am your refuge. I am your safe shelter. When the world feels loud, come back to the stillness. When decisions feel heavy, return to this calm. When uncertainty tries to rise, remember, I am already there. I will guide your next step when it is time. For now, rest here, listen, trust, and know that nothing important is approaching you without first passing through my hands. Speech balloon comment this below. You are my hiding place. God is my refuge and safe shelter. Folded hands, share this video with someone who needs peace and reassurance today. Red heart, support the channel if this message blessed you.